Hi, everybody, and welcome to your Winning Instructions and Closing Deals webinar. This is part of our Alto Bitesize Webinar Series. Previously, we've been looking at great applicant management in our first webinar. Our second webinar was around building email templates. And we're now going to group those last two webinars together to look at how we can use that fantastic applicant registration, great content that we can send within our emails, and start to use that within our groups to win more instructions. My name is James, and I head up our customer solutions and education team. And I'm joined by my colleague, Lisa, who is our senior software consultant within our solutions team. The focus of the webinar today is to show you how you can utilize key features within Alto to efficiently win instructions and close deals. So minimize any distractions, grab a pen and paper for those notes. The session is recorded and we'll be putting that on YouTube. Otherwise, sit back, relax, absorb the information we're going to give you. And if you've got any questions, fire them in the Q&A section in the panel at the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've already covered it, but this is our agenda for the day, just for everyone to have a look at. So yeah, absolutely what you just said. Why efficiency is key in winning instructions, streamlining the property marketing information, using those database groups that we've looked at previously, and then some proactive strategies for appraisal follow-ups as well. And then James is going to be looking at some fabulous tools that you can unlock to streamline those instructions. Yeah. Let's have a look. I think we've got some polls. Have you got the polls there so that we can launch them, James?
We have got a couple of polls which we will start off just to understand your job roles, what your current understanding of Alto is, and also the challenges that you face within industry. So I'm just going to kickstart the first one. So that should now be on your screen, just so we can find out who our audience is.
Perfect. And then we've got some exciting ones following that, and some stats to cover while you fill out the other polls that we've got. So the next poll James will be releasing is how you rate your current understanding of Alto. So are you using it to its maximum capacity? Do you understand the features that are within it? Is there anything more that you want to know about something that we haven't covered so far? And then the next one will be, what do you see as the primary industry challenges at the moment? So we've got some broken down in a list for you. And then while you fill those out, we've got some fabulous stats to run through.
So I'm just going to end that first poll there, which is all around your job roles. Just going to launch a second poll, which is now around your understanding of Alto. So again, we give you 10 to 15 seconds to fire those results through. Again, we can start to see those coming through thick and fast. We've got quite an array of different understandings that are coming in here. The last couple of seconds on that one. We're going to end that poll. And now the most important one, so we can make sure the content is going to be relevant and aligned. But what are your current industry challenges? Is it managing data and keeping that data updated on your CRM system? Is it kind of a lack of reporting and data insights, within industry? Regulation, legislation, constantly changing at the moment? Do you feel that you miss opportunities, follow-up opportunities, market appraisals, miss out to other agents? Or is it the economy or time management?
Time management.
Within...
Always time management, isn't it? So we'll give you a couple more. There's quite a lot in those, so we'll give you a couple more seconds to look at those, and we'll drill into some stats for you. So if we look over at the timely communication, so statistics say agents who act quick are 3 times more likely to secure the deal. So this is going to lead to higher conversion rates from appraisal to instruction. There's a 20% conversion rate according to our Zoopla reporting. So yeah, definitely a high impact area there for timely communication. Also, one of the studies says that 15 to 20% more instructions are secured when you actually have the proper organization implemented, and this is going to reduce your admin time. Less errors are made. You can focus on your client interactions. So Sorry, I've got too many screens open, James. I'm struggling to see what I'm looking at and where. Let's go on to the next one. It's always the way. Consistent contact. So again, consistently contacting your agents, you can increase your conversion rate by 30% with those regular updates. And then the value added updates, so relevant communication to them, resulting in 40% greater client retention. You know, you don't want to get an email and go, why have they sent this to me? This isn't completely relevant. So it's sending out relevant communication. And it gives you that opportunity to address any objections as well. And the stats come through that will increase your conversion by 20% if you have that regular timely communication. Have we ended that poll?
I've ended it and I've shared the results. So we can start to see that, you know, 46% of our audience have said that managing data and keeping that updated is one of their challenges. Interestingly, only 8% are coming in a lack of reporting and data insight. Again, just to give you some insight, we've got some great new reporting tools that can be coming into Alto over the coming weeks and months, really changing the game in that area. 42% of regulation and legislation. Obviously, NTS has been a big feature. Those changes there in order to ensure that you're marketing your property correctly, providing that information to the consumer.
Oh, and the AML as well, right?
Yeah, all in Alto. So you've got all your NTS information now in there that you can capture. Missed opportunities are coming in at 25%, time management at 54%, and obviously the economy 38%. Obviously things look like they're kind of improving there with interest rates now starting to drop, going into a real kind of buzz period now, you know, throughout September and October. People want to move, rent more properties. So things are looking positive on the economy front, but we keep our eyes on those. But ultimately, you know, what we're looking to do today. Sorry, Lisa, you were gonna.
No, I was going to say, especially the time management, because you know that's one of the struggles that I hear regularly with the time management. We'll show you how just when logging into Alto and on the dashboard, the facility to communicate with people who are showing interest and interacting with the communications that you send, it makes your time management flow much smoother as well. So yeah, we will be covering that.
Yeah, so like I said, we're going to look at how can we really start to increase your conversion rates today. How can we streamline processes to reduce your admin? How can we enhance the follow-ups and increase that client engagement where we've seen that increase by around 30–40%? And how can we enable data-driven decisions, again, improving things like price accuracy? So we're going to show you our property valuation reports and how we can provide that to your potential vendor or potential landlord. And again, combining that with, you know, things like our conveyancing quotes and our NTS information to really show your value and win those instructions. So I think the best kind of thing here really is to really now go and take a look at how Alto can improve that. So Lisa, do you want to kind of dive straight into Alto and start to show how we can use some of these tools?
Absolutely. So we've covered it previously on prior webinars, but I am going to go heavily into the groups on this one. I want to show you how you can manage your contacts and your properties through those groups to enhance the efficiency of converting appraisals into instructions, making sure that no property is missed or neglected, targeting those efficient follow-ups, and then your efforts can be focused where they're most needed. This is going to increase the chances of the winning instructions and closing deals. And it allows you to do consistent follow-ups, keeping your client engaged. So in the database groups, if I dive across into Alto now, and I've created a couple of groups just to show you how you can utilize it. We'll start with our property section. And being able to target a mail out to a specific group of contacts that are looking for example, we've got low-key properties that we've set up as a group. And I've also just called one a dummy name of mail out. How we get properties into these groups, when you're actually putting the property on the market, there is a field which not a lot of agents are aware of, but the ones who do know it's there use it regularly. Under the property tab, you've got this user one field down on the right-hand side underneath council tax and banding. If you put something into that section, it will put it into the group based on anything before a spacebar. I feel like I need to put this out there, but if you were to put in mail out space 1, mail out space 2, the space would disregard anything that's after it. So make sure you're putting it all in with no spaces. But where I've put in mail out 1 in here, on the other group, I've popped in our low key properties. So again, if I just show you on one of the low key, so I've just put in low key into user 1. What that then enables you to do in the group section is to put together a list using the My Groups. So if I go into the plus symbol, I can choose to pull up all of my available stock that is for sale, that has within that reference number low key. And this is where I get my total group of properties from. And you can drill down into that data much heavier as well. If you are looking to bring on more 2-beds and you've got hundreds of 2-bed appraisals that have not been won, you can put together a group using this section of your 2-bed appraisals. Any of this criteria on this front screen, but even drilling down into it further, we can look at specific areas, we can look at new builds, any particular features. If we want to put together a character property with specific features and send that out to a group of contacts. And you can use these groups even further with the vendor details. Have we got all the vendor details? Are we missing email numbers? Are there even properties that haven't got pending offers? And then the date. So targeting those lists of properties that maybe haven't had any viewings in the last couple of weeks. Once you've got your property group together, we can move over into the contact group section, and I can pull up a list of people I want to send that group of properties. So if I go across into contacts and under groups, you've got your predetermined groups that we've set up. You can also make your own. I won't go through all of these sections because we are limited on time, but you can characterize these groups. I might want to look at people who have got a property to sell, or potential vendors, or people who are on market other agents, a category rating of hot. There's lots of options that you can drill down into along with the requirements for the applicant. For this, I'm just going to use the active applicant list, and I'm going to select all of my active applicants. Then under actions, I can do a property match to that group of applicants. So I can choose Output Wizard. And then on the left-hand side, I can find the groups that I've created. So I can send everything within Mail Out 1 to this particular applicant group as if you were doing a normal match from a property. So this is going to bring through all of the relevant, let me just cross these ones off, and the ones that have denied consent, because we want to keep within GDPR matching. And this is going to send the web style list out with the 4 images, summary description, bullet points, price, and the click here for more information.
And I believe, Lisa, that you can also filter that group, can't you, on GDPR to save you having to remove people that are non-compliant?
Yeah, exactly. So I've done it on my potential vendors list. We'll go into that in a second, actually. But when we send that applicant mail out from the active applicants, I really want to highlight the click stats on the dashboard, because I've had a few agents recently that didn't know it was there. So going into home, if you have your inquiries and your click stats towards the top of your page, brilliant. I log in with some agents and they're still down the bottom, but this is your proactive list to contact. Going into click stats, I can see in the last 24 hours how many emails I've sent, how many I've delivered, and how many have been opened. So who's expressing interest. And from here, this is where your negotiators can do their follow-ups. So it's got the contact number, it's got the name, how many emails we've sent, and even what properties we've sent. So I can ring Brian, I can set the marketing follow-up to complete if none of them are relevant, or if he is interested, over on the right-hand side, book a viewing, add a to-do, add a note, or send the full brochure. This is your list of people who are expressing interest and engaging in those emails. So it's such a valuable tool. And again, you can look at past week, past month, and you can refine it down by specific negotiators. Once the marketing follow-up's complete, it will remove it from that list. So for owners of the business, you get a full oversight of who's being followed up. If we go back onto the contact group section, so I have created a group of my potential vendors. And as James said a moment ago, making sure that they've got GDPR consent to remove the need of having to cross them off. When you create the groups, as long as you select a category of client, you'll have the option down here to just focus on people who've given us consent for property matching and general marketing. And that will update that list. So I know that all of these people have opted in for general marketing. And this is where it will tie into the email templates that we covered on the last bite size. I can go to actions and send an email to them, knowing full well that they've opted into our marketing consent. And if I just pull up one of the emails I created previously, I've utilised our Zoopla house prices and our mortgage article that we've released recently on the Zoopla website. So I've been able to send them links to the mortgage price article, Mojo Mortgages, and also a mortgage calculator. I've popped in some content, some key takeaways, and some information on the house price index. And these emails are great because you can really link through to your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you want to attach at the bottom there, your socials, and you can add your own custom icons as well. So these are a really undervalued tool. And then once that email is sent, we'll be able to then follow it up and see if the email has been delivered on the contact timeline. So I won't wait over 15 minutes. I do apologise, James. I'm going to pass it back to you now so that you can...
Well, I'm going to fire some questions to you first, actually.
Okay.
So on the home screen, you mentioned, obviously, we can drag, well, I'm giving it away. We can obviously put at the top the email marketing. Can you just show us how we would do that, how we can move this home screen around to make sure that agents are maximising, you know, what's right for them?
Yeah, and I think most agents, when I log in, they have it zoomed in slightly more. So you've got probably this view, and it usually, when I log into their data, it's usually got the sales and stats at the top there. For me, I've got a sales background. I want to follow up on business I haven't got yet, and then choose to look at business I have had. So yeah, my tasks will always be the predominant section on the dashboard because this tells me what I need to do. And then when I get time to do that proactive marketing, this is where I'm going to use the inquiry section and the click stats. And any of these main sections on the main dashboard can be clicked and dragged.
Brilliant. Obviously those groups, just going back into the groups there, obviously, you know, we're looking at an omni-channel kind of approach to liaise with our potential vendors. You know, you've highlighted how we can build that group and how we can mass email to that audience. But is there a really simplistic way that I could now work through that list and like text them and call them? Again, phone is still an agent's best friend.
Yeah, I mean, if you do want to go through them one at a time, if you pop this toggle over on the left, that's going to take you into the very first one on the list. And that gives you the ability then to contact this person, click next, and work your way through it that way. You do also have other options, so you can print the list. You've got the option to do a bulk mail out to them, bulk text message to them as well. So yeah, under the actions option, lots of facilities.
Brilliant. And then finally, I can see you've got lots of groups here, from default groups to my group that you created, shared groups. What's the difference and the visibility options across those?
Yeah, absolutely. So under my groups, these are ones I've created for my own personal view. No one else has access to that. From a management perspective, if you want to roll out a list for everybody, then under the tools section and templates and admin, if you've got the administrator role permission, you can go into the match group section. This is going to give you oversight of all the groups within the system. So you can see if they are private, so if someone set up their own private groups, or if they're a group set up to all branches. If I want to create that potential vendors list for everyone, you can create a group here, sorry, I've gone into property group. Let me do contact group. I can go into add a contact group and I can select clients who are potential vendors. With this group, I can give it a name and decide if I want to share it across all branches for everyone to see or with a specific branch. And then I can choose which branch that is I want. And this is going to customize what they see. If their default branch is Banbury Sales and they go to the group section, they will then see it.
Perfect, thank you.
Sorry, one more thing I didn't mention actually, bulk archiving. If you set groups up, you can set them up for bulk archiving to keep on top of those records that maybe aren't relevant anymore, people who've opted out. If you do a bulk archivable or bulk deletable group, that will drop into a section. Let me just make this one bulk archivable for now, just so that you can see. So that will drop into a section at the bottom for groups supporting bulk action. This is imperative to keep the database current. If they do opt themselves out of marketing consent and you can't contact them, they need to be archived or deleted.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Right. Okay. So if you've got any questions, like I had, we've got the Q&A open. Feel free to fire us some more questions. I can see Sharon's put one in, so we'll start to answer those in a couple of minutes for you, but keep popping them in there. In your email template, you were talking about the highest house price index. You'll have a tab at the bottom called resources. We've linked lots of guides for you to go and download from there on what we've done today. There's a guide to the house price index in there as well. But otherwise, I'm going to now hijack the screen. So I'm going to replace yours, Lisa, and I'm just going to go into our property valuation reports. So done a great job at building that group. We've found our target audience, which is our potential vendors. We've now mail shotted those audience. We have started to click through and call them. And now we've had interest that somebody would like a valuation. So we've started to show this a couple of times, but for those that haven't seen it, in order to prepare for this appraisal now, we can head into the property and we can launch our property report. You will find this under the property tab about the property. If you're still at the appraisal status, it will also be available within the appraisal section as well. But by clicking on the launch property report, what this will do is it will now start to search databases such as HomeTrack, Zoopla, Land Registry. We'll start to fetch numerous pieces of content in order to build this property valuation report. So we can see it's pulling through the property, the photo, the bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage. It's providing, again, whether it's freehold, leasehold, year built. Again, some map information here so we can see the location. We're now also provided from HM Land Registry the sales history, so we can see if it's currently on the market. We can see if it's sold, prices it was sold for historically. Using our HomeTrack data, we can also provide an estimated valuation and the increase on that price since the last sale date. And again, we can refine here our radius and the types of properties we're looking for. We can start to see homes that are nearby that are both sold historically for comparables and currently available. If I keep coming down, I've got some Ofsted ratings for schools. I've got some safety and crime reports, as well as planning applications, energy performance certificate, if it's had one within the last 10 years, as well as flood risk data, which will work towards our NTS information, and our broadband speeds and type of broadband as well, all again relating to our NTS.
Brilliant.
On the left-hand side, you can see that I can filter some of this information. So I might want to take out the safety information. As it's got no flood risks, I may choose to take that information out. But I can now print this, take on my valuation with me as well. This is also a great opportunity to reuse groups as well. So if I head back into the property, I might want to also come into groups and potentially produce a list of completed properties I've sold that, again, I could select and I could start printing off browse sheets of those to take with me and, again, show my potential vendor or landlord properties that we've sold or let in their local area, alongside my property valuation report that backs up my valuation and the marketplace. To go one step further, let's provide even more information to my potential, in this case, vendor. If I head back into Greenstead, I'm going to show them what the market is doing at the moment. I'm going to show them what their property is worth and the comparables and what's been sold and the estimated value. I'm also going to provide for them a breakdown of costs. So if I head into my prospective vendor here, into my contact record, where I can select refer a solicitor, I can start to now get a full breakdown of all of the costs that are going to be involved to sell their property, and if they're looking to buy, to purchase their property. So let's say that they want to now sell potentially 10 Greenstead. They don't live abroad. They're not a limited company. They have no mortgage. We are not quite sure on the property that they want to buy at the moment, but let's go and enter a potential address or postcode. Again, it's going to be their main home rather than second home. They're not going to get a mortgage. So if I now continue to quotes, this will now provide for me a full breakdown of all the costs they're going to potentially incur from a solicitor and for stamp duty as well. So again, I can start to filter this based on highest rated or reviews or price.
And that's Trustpilot reviews, isn't it? So
yeah. I can expand this to see obviously all of the transactional fees in order to buy their property. I can see the stamp duty costs and the total cost as well as if I want to look at the cost to sell, that's available here as well. This is powered by our movement integration. But again, if we wanted to provide this information to the prospective vendor, I can select refer, and this will now share that information both with my vendor and that solicitor, where conversations can start to happen around obviously utilizing that conveyancer. We can also directly open the case from here as well and instruct that solicitor. The other benefit of using this side, as well as obviously giving all the costs and the full moving situation and journey, it will also create automated milestones into Alto as well. So let's just head back into our slide deck. We've worked our way through today, obviously, our groups. We've looked at our property valuation report. I'm just going to pop up a poll, again, just to see if you would require any more information. Again, if I can locate said poll. So I'm just going to pop open a poll here, just to see if you'd like any more information on the features that we've covered today. So the poll is up here. If you'd like to know more about our property valuation report or our groups, you can fill in this poll, which is about to pop up on the screen now. And then we get our team to contact you about the property groups, more information on the valuation report or our movement product as well.
See that poll coming through now.
Yeah, lots of information.
Absolutely. And we'll be able to get an actual one-to-one with one of our specialists in movement or any of the additional content we covered today. So brilliant.
And while I'm just closing that poll, Lisa, would you just like to talk through again where people can get additional support and training on any of these features, as well as us reaching out to them?
Yeah.
And why you're doing in this
poll?
Do.
I mean, on this slide, you'll see we've got the Alto Essentials. Every agent now has got access to on-demand e-learning videos and e-learning content where I prefer the e-learning content. It does a little section and then tests you at the end, a little questionnaire, but it's the for all your new starters, it's completely non-cost. We include it as part of the subscription. So you've got the e-learning, and there are these webinars as well, the Alto Bitesize webinars. There's Alto Insider, which will be returning soon, and plenty of other specialist areas within the help centre. So you've got the guides, the articles, the way to contact support, and then we can provide custom training options as well over on the right hand side with our specialist trainers, either Zoom or face to face. So yeah, lots of options.
Fantastic. And just moving into our Q&A, I can already see that Lisa's been starting to answer some of those questions. But why would a contact list show data under my groups, but when we put in bulk archive, no contacts are visible. I can see you've answered that, Lisa, but ultimately, just to kind of summarize there, sometimes it will be in relation to kind of, they may have had viewings, or there may be financial information that lives on that contact record. So it can't currently be archived. So we don't breach, again, any legislation or regulation. A question that's coming from Jonathan that says he's using the valuation report. It's brilliant. It's great to hear, Jason. However, our concern is that sales value sometimes differs from what Zoopla suggests. Again, we're using certain algorithms. We're looking at the sale history, what's happening in the market to produce that information. So again, use it as a guide to support your evidence. But again, like we showed, look at Alto, build your own comparable list using groups to back up that valuation and whether you feel it's obviously a lesser value or a higher value. You know the market or your local area better than anyone else. You've got that data and insight as well to lean on and to utilize.
Yeah, perfect.
Finally, it's the end of the Bitesize webinar today. We have got more of these series coming up. We would love to hear from you and know what you'd like to see within these. How can we help you? Where would you like educating on the system? So if you scan the QR code and leave us feedback, that would definitely help us to build and shape future webinars. And we'll be running a prize draw on anyone that leaves feedback to win a free on-site training day, again, to support you and your staff in maximizing Alto and its features as well, to increase, again, your conversion rates, to increase your marketing awareness, and support you building things like those email templates and groups and utilizing those key features within the software.
Yeah, it's nice to have those advanced days on site with agents who've been using the system for a while, rather than the upfront training. Once they've been using the system for a while, you can really get into the nitty-gritty of how they can start using the bits that they're maybe not comfortable with from that initial session. So yeah, the advanced days are great.
Exactly. Otherwise, thank you everyone for attending. Obviously, information will be coming out on the webinar. We'll be uploading it on YouTube. We'll be sending the information through, and then look out for our future Bitesize webinars.